finish that accident.
Recording in progress.
Okay, now here's a couple of questions here. We have the basics of the Bradley GT story.
Mhm.
But how did you feel about doing the work? You know, as you read the instructions and started to cut the fiberglass and do all the wiring and the grounding, and I hadn't thought about that grounding stuff. Is you don't have any ground on fiberglass. Did you enjoy this process?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I've always been fairly good with my hands. I'm not an artist. I don't have much imagination when it comes to that, but I can do things with my hands, kind of like you. And you know, I'd spent some time with my uncle, particularly when I was in med school, and when we had our first car, the Opel. It developed some rust, and so on weekends, occasionally I'd go over there and my uncle would show me how to clean it out and how to use Bondo to fill the holes and all that sort of stuff. So we were holding this secondhand little car together. And he taught me a fair amount about using tools. Of course, I learned to carve leather in junior high school and was doing some of that occasionally. When I was an intern, I built my own electronic receiver, radio receiver. It was a Heathkit-like project. So all of these first times I was able to read the instructions, and I read carefully and I take my time.
I was just about to say, Bill can follow instructions very well.
So I thought, why not try this? I thought I could do it. Yes, I was a little nervous because I was spending some money here to get this in. It wasn't like buying a piece of leather and some leather stamping tools and swivel knives and so on. So yes, I was a little nervous, particularly when I got it and realized that I would have to cut the plexiglass. It's not something that I realized would be part of it. I thought it was sort of, you know, tab A goes into slot C and you and all of that. And then, of course, I wanted to customize it a little bit, make it my own, so I changed the dashboard up. The interior had...
What'd you do to the dashboard?
I brought some leather back with me from Bolivia that was brown with a black sort of thread brain through it. It was goat leather. And I decided I would use that instead of the material they sent me for the small part of the dash, the instrument cluster section, which is in the middle of the car, in the middle of the dashboard. The other dash materials they provided were sort of like a padded vinyl, looked like a quilted vinyl. It was white. It was a white interior. And then I realized that once I laid it up there and sat in the car, that it was going to create a terrific glare in the windshield. It reflected light very brightly. So then I thought, I can't put that in there. That's going to be bothersome the whole time. So then I did some research to find out how you color vinyl, and was able to find out that you could spray a dye on it. So I got a little breath sprayer and the right dye. Put that aside and dyed it flat black, the way most dashboards are, flat color, so it was no longer shiny. And that worked. I had most of the tools I needed because I didn't really need much. I did have to buy some small propane tanks so that I could create a flame in order to flame the edges of the plexiglass.
We're going to reset here.
Recording stopped.